Let me begin with a simple question. If you had just 1 year left to live, how would you spend it? Would you still chase the same promotions, scroll endlessly on social media, or stress over buying the newest car? Or would you do something different, maybe spend more time with family, help someone in need, or finally explore that dream you've been putting off? That thought experiment shows us something powerful. Deep down, we all know that life's true purpose isn't found in material success. Yet, many of us spend our lives chasing exactly that. The illusion of more. Let's talk about a real example. Steve Jobs, one of the most successful men of our time, said in his final days, "In the eyes of others, my life has been the symbol of success. But aside from work, I have little joy." At this moment, lying on the sick bed, I realize all the recognition and wealth are meaningless in the face of death. Now, this doesn't mean money is evil. It has its place. It brings comfort and opportunity. But the problem begins when we start believing that money, titles, or possessions define our purpose. Look around today. A study from the American Psychological Association showed that while income has increased globally in the last 50 years, happiness levels have barely moved. Why? Because after a certain point, more wealth doesn't equal more meaning. It's like chasing a mirage. You think fulfillment is around the corner, but when you get there, it's still out of reach. What spirituality and science agree on across traditions, the same truth repeats. Life is bigger than possessions. The Bhagavad Gita reminds us, it is better to live your own purpose imperfectly, than to live another's purpose perfectly. Buddhism says the root of suffering is attachment, to things, to status, to expectations. Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist who survived concentration camps, discovered that those who found meaning, even in pain, were the ones who survived. And science agrees. Neuroscience shows that when we serve others or align with a meaningful goal, our brains release oxytocin and serotonin, the chemicals of connection and peace. Material rewards give short highs, but purpose gives long-lasting fulfillment. Discovering your own purpose. So, how do you actually find your purpose? Here's where most people get stuck. They wait for a big sign, like a voice from the sky announcing, "Your purpose is to do this." But purpose is not a single event. It's a journey. Think of it like a compass, not a map. A map gives exact directions, but a compass simply points you toward your true north. Here are 3 practical questions you can ask yourself. What makes you feel alive? Not excited for a few minutes, but deeply alive. Who benefits from your existence? Purpose always has a ripple effect. What would your 90-year-old self thank you for? That perspective clears out a lot of noise. Stories of purpose in action. Let's explore some real-time examples. Raj's story. Raj was a senior executive. He had the salary, the car, the house. But he often felt an emptiness he couldn't explain. One weekend, he agreed to teach spoken English to kids in a local slum area. The first time a child greeted him with joy, Raj felt something shift inside. His Mondays suddenly felt lighter, not because his job changed, but because he had changed. He had discovered contribution. Doctors. During the pandemic, many doctors worked tirelessly, risking their lives. Some even stayed away from their own families for months. Did they earn more money during that time? In most cases, no, but ask them, and many will say those were the most meaningful days of their careers. Because they lived their purpose of service. The Japanese Ikigai. In Okinawa, people live among the longest in the world. They wake up every day with Ikigai, a reason to live. For some, it's tending their garden. For others, teaching children or cooking for their community. It's not wealth, but this sense of purpose that keeps their hearts young and their lives long. How you can live purpose daily. Here's the best part. Purpose doesn't always mean quitting your job and moving to the Himalayas. It means bringing deeper meaning into the life you already have. Shift perspective at work. Even the most routine job can feel purposeful when you see its impact. A person processing insurance claims may be helping a family in crisis. A driver may be ensuring someone reaches home safely. Purpose is hidden in the details. Practice microservice. You don't have to launch a big NGO. Helping a colleague, smiling at a stranger, mentoring someone younger, these small acts build a purposeful life. Spiritual anchoring. Daily meditation, journaling, or prayer reconnects you to your inner compass. Without this, it's easy to drown in society's noise. Continuous growth. Purpose thrives where growth happens. Read, learn, expand. The soul doesn't ask, how much did you earn? But, how much did you grow? The bigger picture. At the end of the day, success without purpose feels hollow. But when success and purpose come together, it's magic. Think of someone like Narayana Murthy, founder of Infosys. Yes, he created a billion-dollar company. But his deeper purpose was to prove that Indian entrepreneurs could compete globally with integrity. That purpose gave meaning to the wealth. Or Sudha Murthy, who chose to live simply, giving away most of her wealth and service. Ask her, and she'll tell you her greatest joy is not in the numbers, but in the lives she's been able to uplift. So, let's return to that opening question. If you had 1 year left to live, how would you spend it? Because in truth, none of us knows how much time we really have. The purpose of life is not to endlessly chase material things, but to awaken. To love, to serve, to grow. No one, on their deathbed, says, I wish I had bought one more car. But many say, I wish I had loved more, given more, lived more. Success feeds the ego. Purpose feeds the soul. And when the soul is full, life finally makes sense. So maybe the real purpose of life is not to ask, what can I get? But instead, what can I give? How can I grow? How can I love? And when you live from that space, every day becomes meaningful. Whether you're in an office, a classroom, a home, or a temple. Because the purpose of life is not somewhere out there waiting to be found. It is right here, waiting to be lived.